the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on this Friday morning. We are glad that you have joined us whenever and wherever it is that you join us each and every day here for the Auburn Blitz Podcast and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Brett and Faith here, as always, on a Friday morning, coming to you from a taped version, though, not live. But you can comment. That's okay. We don't have to be in the presence for you to comment. We appreciate all of you that tune us in, though, and all of you that have subscribed to our YouTube channel and hit the like button. Definitely appreciate all of you so much. But if you have not done that and you'd like to join that club, please do that. I know I would appreciate it. I think Faith would appreciate it too, right?
I would.
Very much. Good to see you this morning, last night, whatever time it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the time for us. We're always talking, so
right.
Good to see you again.
That's right. Like we haven't seen each other in 15 hours or something. But
yeah.
Anyway, a ton to talk about this morning here on the podcast. We are a week away from Auburn and Baylor. Officially, we are in game week. It's 7 days. Auburn will start really prepping game week-wise on Sunday, as we've talked about that. So we will dive into that a lot more in detail as we move through the show this morning. But make sure you get your comments in. We appreciate that. It's also high school football for us tonight. We will be at Opelika tonight as the Benjamin Russell Wildcats take on the Opelika Bulldogs in one of the more higher profile games in the state of Alabama. Two teams that have been rivals for a long time. And this will be another great game in the addition of that rivalry between the Wildcats and the Bulldogs. So if you're watching that and you want to look for a awesome game and you don't have a dog in the fight, no pun intended, head on over to Opelika and catch a great football game. There's going to be tons of great, talented players in that game on both sides of the field for Benjamin Russell and Opelika. Of course, we know a lot more about the Wildcats than we do the Bulldogs. We cover them. We're the radio crew for them. Benjamin Russell has two number one players in the state in their respective classes. Obviously, we've been covering Cedarian Morgan for a year. And he's the number one player in this class. And in the 28 class, the quarterback, Kingston Preyer, is the number one player in that class, number 20 player in the country. And he won a state championship last year as a freshman at Montgomery Catholic. So going to be a lot of talent on that field tonight in Opelika. So if you can, come on out. I know you and I, Randy, Wes, are very excited to get some things going on the Wildcat Football Network tonight.
Super excited. It's going to be my first game as a Wildcat, and just even though it's not going to be a home game, I'm excited to see some of the tradition that y'all have, and just growing up out of state, seeing how high school football is here. I know it's where I grew up specifically, we just weren't good. So it was a little bit different than it is, especially in this area here.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to watching some good football, being able to cover some good football, and hopefully maybe having my first win as a Wildcat.
That would be great. Yeah, you're an adopted Wildcat. Sophie is now as well.
Yes.
She'll be on the sideline with you all season, so we're excited about that. So, yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a great game, and Opelika's got a great program, and Benjamin Russell does too, so that sets up to be a really good matchup tonight. But here we are to talk about Auburn and talk about huge news. Auburn picks up a massive commitment from the number one safety in the country in Braylon Womack. You and I talked about this 3 or 4 weeks ago. Jace Matthews and Braylon Womack, we had pretty much been told by a very reliable source that we were going to get both of those. And we kind of pushed some things out, and the Jace Matthews domino fell first. And then obviously all eyes shifted to Braylon Womack, and everybody was wondering if Auburn could pull off the 2 spot in the state of Mississippi, and they were, as Braylon Womack last night announced that he is coming to Auburn. Again, just like if you lose a commitment to somebody, or if you get a commitment, you've got to keep them and you've got to stay at the top of their list till December, till you can sign. And just because he announced last night does not mean other programs aren't going to continue to recruit him. So he's the number 13 overall player. You know, it was between Auburn and Ohio State. I mean, what is going on?
She's wagging her tail. At least we know I have a happy dog.
Yeah, exactly. Just to let everybody know what's going on there and why you were laughing. So, no, it's good. It's good. We have dogs, everybody, and either mine's scratching the door or Lucy is scratching something, biting something, squeaky.
Wagging her tail or helicoptering, okay?
Helicoptering, yeah. Everybody knows that's watched for a long time. So, but back to the task at hand, Braylon Womack, the number 13 overall player in the country. Look, Ohio State hard after him, but I did tell everybody Ohio State's already had 2 guys verbally commit to them, 2 safeties, and the connection with Auburn and the family of Braylon Womack, his sister being at Auburn. He talked about that in his announcement yesterday and was asked, you know, about his relationship with Coach Freeze and talked about what a great guy he was. He's from Mississippi, you know, just a lot of things that related to that. And if you don't think connections matter, just dig into these recruits and look at the coaches that recruit them and build relationships with these players. Not saying that always ends up being the thing that pushes a recruit to commit, but it definitely helps if you've got a great relationship. But TJ Rushing, man, is absolutely kicking tail on the recruiting trail. And Coach Durkin, obviously, as the defensive coordinator, has a lot to do with that. And, you know, the defensive side of the ball continues to land top-ranked players. And, you know, Auburn's not done. I don't think this will be the last big recruit Auburn's able to land in this class, but it will be interesting to see as we move forward who else Auburn is able to land and how it will work out for them when the dust settles and we see where the final recruiting rankings are. But we already know this is going to be a smaller class, but the last 2 commitments have been really big for Auburn.
Yeah, it's good to see that Braylon said that Coach Durkin and Coach Rushing were doing all of the small things, because just as we said a couple of months ago with some other recruits, staying interested the whole time and just going above and beyond for each and every recruit that especially Auburn really wants does make that much of an impact and difference when it actually comes down time to make that decision. And again, it doesn't stop just because he's verbally committed now.
Right.
He's going to be coming for game days and stuff like that. And he'll be going some other places too, I'm sure. And so it's still going to be the persistence and trying to keep the commitment and continue to show him what they can use him for and just the community at Auburn.
If you want to know where Auburn moved in the rankings, they are up to number 35 in the national rankings now for 24/7, with 13 commitments with an average ranking of 90.18. So Auburn with 13 commitments. If you look at everybody ahead of Auburn, I mean, most are in the 20s. Oklahoma with 17, South Carolina with 14, North Carolina's at 17 with 36 commitments. Florida has 19, and they're number 13, so they've got some really quality players in this class. But nobody as low as Auburn. I mean, LSU with 18, Oregon with 17. When you look at the top 5 teams, Alabama's got 21 commits, Texas A&M's 27, Notre Dame 27, USC 32. If they hold on to all those, come tell me. And then Georgia with 31. So Auburn has a lot of room to jump, because they only have 13 commitments and they're ranked 35th, and they have a high average per recruit ranking. So they do have a 5-star now, 6 4-stars, and 6 3-stars. And again, win football games, Faith, and the rest will take care of itself. If you don't win, then all of this will probably change. But right now, the last 2 to 3 recruits Auburn has gotten a commitment from have really helped them out in the recruiting rankings. And again, they probably will end up signing 20 in this class. They got 7 more they're going to be able to pick, and they're going to go out there just like they did this year and check out the portal and see who they can bring in to kind of fill some voids. So, hey, look, where we were 2 months ago in the 70s and 80s, we've cut that in half now, and we're at 35. So only more room to go up.
Yeah, definitely winning some games is going to be I think, biggest leading factor in either flipping some guys or just getting some other recruits. But a week from today starts all of that.
It's huge. I mean, again, I do think, again, winning decides who stays and who goes. Obviously, if Auburn were not to have a great season and Hugh Freeze weren't to be here and other coaches were to leave, obviously that would have a tremendous impact on Braylon Womack, because he said, look, from the get-go when Auburn offered him in January, they told him that they're going to do everything they can to make up for lost time they had with him, and TJ Rushing was a big part of that. He said, Coach Durkin and Coach Rushing were very interested the entire time. They made me a priority. They did all the small things right. So that's really, really good to hear from him. Also, some other quotes he said on what Auburn fans can expect from him as a player. He said they're getting a hard worker. I know nothing is going to be given to me. When you get to college, stars don't matter. You have to work. I know how to do that, and I'll be ready to go. Outside of football, I'm down to earth. Easy guy to talk to. I'm friendly. I listen when people have something to say. Just very mature in his press conference. Just loved what he had to say. Very humble. Knows he's got to come in. Nothing's going to be given to him. And that's what you want in a leader. And, again, he's got all the tools on the field. But sometimes what comes out of people's mouths don't match their actions. And he just feels like a guy that knows he's got to come in and prove that he's a 5-star player.
There's no doubt in the way that you hear him talk and the way that you see just even his mannerisms of how he understands that college football is a different world than it used to be, and that he didn't grow up in the same kind that people did a couple of years ago, where
Right.
he actually does have to go and work. And again, I think that's something that a lot of these guys that I've been lucky enough to interview in the state of Alabama have shown that, okay, just because I'm a 4 or 5-star doesn't mean that I'm going to be given everything, going on to a team of guys that have been here 3 or 4 years. And it's, I think, a compliment to our coaches that have been recruiting these guys that have those personalities deep down, because that is something that's really important that you can't coach into a kid.
And I also like this quote too. He said, you just can't pick a school because they are good at football. He said, I know Auburn wasn't the best last year, but my mom says God will never send you somewhere that's perfect, but he will send you somewhere that has a purpose. And he said, I'm very confident in this decision. I mean, that's great. I mean, again, you want to go play for a program, and it's easy to make the decision to go play for a program that has been at the top of the mountain and has been competing. But Auburn has a history behind it. They're historically a top 15 program nationally. These kids know that, even though in the here and now Auburn has not been the best, they understand the tradition and the history. And Auburn, unlike a lot of schools, have competed and won a national championship, in the last 25 years. And a lot of teams can't even say they've ever been to a national championship game, and Auburn has been to 2 in that stretch. So, look, I think it says a lot, and we'll see how things kind of play out. But, again, I like what he had to say at the press conference, and he kind of got right down to business making the announcement, even though he did say the University of Auburn. It just, at this point, it doesn't really matter. It seems like a lot of people do that. But he did get War Down Eagle right, which was great. So Braylon Womack chooses Auburn. That's a big get for Auburn. So we did want to spend some time on that this morning to talk about that. All right, let's talk about some of our partners, Faith, and we always start with Sensagreen.
Sensagreen, for air that's cool and clean, call on Sensagreen. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama, proud supporter of Auburn athletics and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz podcast. With how much your AC unit has been working, it's going to be working a little bit longer. It is still so freaking hot outside, and Sensagreen is going to save you thousands of dollars on the installation process of a carrier unit, which is a reliable unit and is going to keep you cool all throughout the rest of, we don't even have a fall here, but what is considered to be fall. So call on Sensagreen.
Yes, call on Sensagreen. Scout Program Management, a full-service construction management firm that will take you from the pre-construction phase to the finished product. You want to hire a company like Scout Program Management to handle your big construction project, multi-million-dollar projects that they control. And again, if you're spending that kind of money as a municipality or an educational entity, you want somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. And Scout Program Management will do that for you, and they will hold the contractors accountable to make sure your job is completed in the correct manner. So check them out online, Birmingham, Alabama, Scout Program Management.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. It is the weekend finally, and Bunkers is going to be the place for you to go while it's still so hot outside and it's not supposed to be the best weather. So Bunkers is going to be a great place for you to go and get your 18 holes in of golf and really test your patience and see if you can actually play good golf, because those golf simulator bays are so hard. If you want to do one of the 27 other sports, there's those two if you get too stressed out, because I don't have fun doing it. I get too mad. But I do enjoy the food there. There's nothing ever wrong with the food. And the drinks there, they've got happy hour deals every day. So go over to Bunkers in downtown Auburn, 50 parking spaces in the parking garage, and have a great time there.
Absolutely. And take a picture of our Auburn Blitz banner while you're there and send it to us. We'll post it on our Instagram page. How about that? So do that. If you go to Bunkers, make sure to take a selfie in front of the banner and then send it to us. We'd love to see that you visited Bunkers and hung out there and enjoyed a great time there, because that's what you're going to do if you go there. All right. Some news yesterday too. The SEC adopts a 9-game conference schedule moving forward into the 26-27 season. This has been talked about kind of like Auburn's national championships for forever. Are they ever going to pull the trigger? Well, I guess after Auburn pulled the trigger on adding the additional national championships, Greg Sankey said, okay, let's just go ahead and pull the trigger on this. And so, no, that's really not how it went. But again, they decided to go with a 9-game slate. And I think that's probably the right decision, because they were juggling all this stuff about rivalries and how they were going to work this stuff out. And I just think this brings things to a clearer picture for the conference. And, we are continuing to see a shift in how these conferences are aligning and maybe shaping themselves for the future of college football.
So with this new format, each SEC team will play 3 permanent conference opponents, and then rotate through 6 others each season. So, Brett, on your 3 permanent conference opponents, who do you have?
Well, I know the obvious first 2 are Alabama and Georgia. You don't want to lose those rivalries. We've just got to get better in the rivalry, right?
Right.
No Auburn fan wants to see either one of those games go away. No Alabama fan, I don't care what they say, they want to see that game go away. And I don't think any Georgia fan out there wants to. I mean, it's the oldest rivalry in the South. You don't just wipe those away. I've got a couple of teams that I would like to see. One I want to see back is LSU, and obviously that makes our schedule a lot tougher, but it just seems right. Auburn needs to play LSU. There's been so many great games in that rivalry just in the last 40 years. And looking at it seemed like every game started to take on a name. The barn burning game, the earthquake game, the interception game. It was like, what weird thing is going to happen in this game. And there's just been a lot of great back and forth in that rivalry. I definitely would like my first choice to be LSU back on the schedule. It just feels right, just feels weird not playing LSU. So I'd love to see them back. And if I had to pick another one, and I know this may not be the team everybody else would like, but I'd like to see the Tennessee Vols. I think that's a great game between Auburn and Tennessee. I think it's neat. I was torn between them and Florida, but I chose Tennessee because there's a lot of similarities in our schools. And the way both teams are rabid fan bases. Tennessee went through about a 20-plus year period of where they were down after they won a national championship. And, now they fought back and they've got a good coach and they've seemed to have rejuvenated their program. So I'd like to see the Tennessee Vols back on the schedule if Auburn were not to get LSU.
Okay, so my first one was LSU. I mean, you got to have the Tigers play
Right.
the Tigers. And, like you said, they've had some really great games. And it definitely feels weird not playing
Very.
them. And so that's my number one. Now, my number two, I was debating between Florida and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss was in the back of my mind, and I had a feeling that was going to be your number one. Because I'm going to be honest, Auburn always played Ole Miss and Mississippi State too.
Right.
Western Division foes, and now you don't play either one of them, and it just is like, man, and I know that things are going to be different. I mean, you're going to rotate people through now, and you're going to have a chance to play them on a more regular basis. Each team will play those 3 annual opponents, but then each team's remaining 6 games will rotate among the remaining conference schools, and each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years. So I know you'll play them more often, but when you're used to seeing them, I would have guessed Ole Miss for you. That was going to be my guess. But then I felt like you would probably pick LSU too, because I just think we all kind of feel that way. I'd like to see what people in the comments would like to say, who they would like to see as Auburn's third permanent opponent. But I had a feeling it was Ole Miss.
I just think that would be a really good one. My dad and I were talking about it last night, and Lane Kiffin and what he's done to that school's program has been really, really something. And I think it would be a really good game. And every time we've played them, it's been a good game. And
it has.
But LSU is definitely my first one. Now, I've been reading a lot of things just so far since it's come out tonight, but I've been reading that a lot of people said Mississippi State. And I think that's just adding a sort of easy cupcake little, I don't want to say cupcake, but an easier game than choosing somebody like Ole Miss, LSU, Tennessee, those kind of games. And I think people are just saying. I
mean, and now on the flip side of things, Auburn drawing out Alabama and Georgia every year. You want to go, why in the hell would you pick LSU or Florida or Tennessee? Why would you not want to get, somebody like Kentucky or Mississippi State or, even South Carolina or somebody like that on the schedule versus, one of those that we've been talking about? But look, I'm a traditionalist. I think it says something to play, teams that have historic programs and that have, been a historic rival of yours, so to say. I mean, Auburn and LSU have not always played, but the games, it just feels like a built-in rivalry with them. And the Auburn-Tennessee, series has been a good one. It just feels like you would pick one of those. But I can also say that I could see, taking a break if you don't, you're going to rotate now a little bit more than you would have with the new format. So maybe the smart thing would be to get Mississippi State, Kentucky, Missouri, somebody like that you just are not beating your head into a concrete block wall when you have to play them year in and year out.
Well, talking about just the difficulty level and competition between the teams and deciding whether or not you're going to choose a a more difficult team to play against. One of the rising questions and concerns that Greg Sankey addressed was the health and injury level of
right.
what these guys could go through. And it's been an important part of a lot of the decisions that they've been making. And I don't think that this hopefully will not do anything when it comes to the wear and tear on the body. Like if you're choosing some of these harder teams to go against, like obviously you're going to be getting beat up like that. But like you said, it's just part of the tradition and part of going and playing SEC football of you're going to go, you want to play against the hardest teams because that's the conference you're in.
Right.
So, but that was something that, he addressed about how the injury levels of playing harder teams.
Competition. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, everybody knows that we need a break. I mean, nobody has a tougher draw. I don't care what anybody says than Auburn does with their two permanent opponents now in Georgia and Alabama. And that's a compliment to them. They are our built-in rivals, but they are the benchmark of college football, for the last 15 years in the modern era. They have been what everybody's aimed to be. And of course, both of them have for 100 years had great programs. I'm not saying that, but in the last 15, they've kind of set the bar for everybody else. And we haven't lived up to our end of it. So, but we have the hardest draw when it comes to them. Nobody can argue with that. So again, from a common sense standpoint, a lot of Auburn fans, and again, I'd love to see the comments over here, probably would go, why in the world would you pick LSU? And again, my traditionalist viewpoint kind of won over in me picking that. I think the same for you on that, but from a common sense standpoint would lead you to believe that you need to go pick Vanderbilt or Missouri or South Carolina or Kentucky or somebody like that, Mississippi State. That does make more sense from a common sense standpoint.
Yeah, and Greg Sankey also talked about the strength of schedule and how important it's going to be for the college football playoff selection. And he said something that what I think we have to acknowledge is the college football playoff process has said don't lose, and I don't think that's healthy for college football and the ability to take this step to say it's more than just don't lose. It's about playing high-quality opponents. That being honored, yes, you have to win games. That's some of the work that needs to progress. And like you said, if you're going to go in and you're going to play one of those teams like Mississippi State or something, if you instead are going and playing LSU, Georgia, and Alabama, I mean, automatically your schedule is 10 times.
Brutal.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that we're going to be in the college football playoffs, but
we'd like to think we can be. I mean, if we do the right things and, get our program back to where we know it can be, we want, that's the goal. I mean, we want to be back in the talk of having a chance to be in the college football playoff. And, again, adding to that, in an article that we both read said that it's clear that the SEC is pushing for a 16-team path in the playoff, which, again, we're at 12. It's inevitable. It's probably going to go to 16. But the Big Ten, with their idiot 28-team proposal, excuse me.
That's crazy.
I mean, what are we doing? And just, again, I think the NCAA tournament has gotten to that point a little bit. You just keep adding rounds and adding teams. And, there's a push to add more even now to the NCAA tournament where it gets to the point where you go, shit, just put everybody in there. Just let's forget the draws and what you do in the regular season. Just pull it out and let everybody go be in the tournament. Well, that's what we've done. We've gone from a BCS format where two teams made the national championship game, and it was done by a computer ranking of all these different polls and things and the human element. And then you go to the 4-team playoff, and we had that for a little while, and now we're up to the 12-team playoff. And we haven't even had but 1 year of the 12-team playoff, and we're already talking about expanding to 16 and some of these radical proposals, 24 or 28. I mean, you just know it's going to keep growing because it's more money, and money drives everything. And I went on a rant about money about 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to do that again. But it really is what drives everything. And we start to lose integrity and all that kind of stuff that made this sport what it is. And so, again, 16, I think, is inevitable now that the SEC is going to a 9-team schedule, in conference schedule. And they want to get some more shots because now it's going to be a little bit harder, and with that more difficult schedule, they're going to want to have a chance to get more teams in. And naturally, you can do that by adding 4 more spots.
This is just not even college football anymore, is it?
Well, everything changes so rapidly. And again, it's not that we didn't know this was coming with a 9-game schedule. It's just kind of like they dropped that bomb last night at 5:00. It's like, oh, by the way, and I know it was before that, but it just felt like there was nothing leading up to that made you feel like they were going to make that announcement. But anyway, it has been made, and that's that. So that's what we'll be doing next year. And all of that in the off season, we'll see who that third permanent opponent is for Auburn. So, but put that in your comments out there, everybody. Who do you want to see as Auburn's third permanent opponent with the new 9-game schedule? All right, let's get to some more of our partners. Old Number One Customs, probably about halfway through with our project, and everything is roughed in and a few things left, and they're about to come in and really get after it, laying the tile and all. The renovation project of my master bathroom, and looking forward to that when it's completed. And we're going to have some pictures and videos, just like we said. But in the meantime, if you're planning or you're thinking about renovating a part of your home or building an outdoor living space or whatever, call them 334-752-6162. They will take care of you. Go check them out on Instagram and look at their work. It is unbelievable.
JFA Blue Plumbing, go ahead and get that Home Atlas water filter duo installed. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say how important it is that water is to your internal health, but also your external health when it comes to showering, your family, your pets, water, just you actually drink too. So the Home Atlas water filter duo is installed for $15.99 with JFA Blue Plumbing. And you can't put a price on health because those medical bills are going to be actually insane when you find out what you're ingesting is actually probably really bad for you. Or when you go to the dermatologist and figure out that your skin is not good because of the water that you have and that you're showering in, that you're also showering your kids in and your pets. So calling them at 844-JFA-BLUE.
And it also filters out, Faith, things that you can't see. A lot of those harsh chemicals and things that are in our water that comes through the faucets from the water filter plants and all that water is treated with chemicals, and you want to get as much of that out. So JFA Blue Plumbing, call them, and they'll come handle that at your house.
Oliver Ross, if you've got a party of 20 all the way up to 20,000, they are going to be the bartending service for you, whether it's a wedding, tailgate, sorority or fraternity date party, it doesn't matter. They are going to come there, set up all their good stuff, and they're going to serve your guests for the night. You can do the entertaining and you can do the hosting, but they will take care of the bartending because that's what they do. So stick with the professionals. Oliver Ross, they're great, and call on them.
Absolutely. Love all of our partners. We appreciate them so very much. Okay. Next week we will be at Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine on Tuesday. Come see us. They are our partner, been our partner for a long time. We love them over there, but now they are our post-game reaction show partner. We pushed that out at the end of last week, and we're excited to be partnered with them on that. And Faith, in 7 days, we'll be out in Waco, Texas, watching right now. About this time, we will be probably in the fourth quarter of that game. So this is Friday. So, and it's if we did Friday night,
Yeah, I was going to say.
The way we're filming the show, I'm looking at it from a time.
I'm thinking we're talking in the morning. If it's the morning, then we're probably just getting off the flight.
Well, that's right. That's right. But this, I'm looking at it from a nighttime standpoint. But because it's 9 o'clock.
Days. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
I know I've confused everybody. But regardless, 7 days from now, we'll be in Waco, Texas, getting ready for the Auburn Tigers. So, again, looking forward to that. And then we will be on the air immediately after the game. Not immediately, but as soon as we get out of the stadium, we will have the post-game show. So make sure everybody kind of stars that, locks that in, be looking for us. We'll try to send out a message on our social media when we feel like we're about to go live, so you can go ahead and prep for that. But if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll get an alert. You'll get a notification. So you can do that, and it'll take care of it for you. So we're excited about that, but we will be over at Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine next Tuesday. So make sure you come and hang out with us. Okay, football, Friday night, it's here. Excited for the game tonight with us, Benjamin Russell Opelika. So make sure you tune that in. AHSA Radio Network has the second game of the not the Champions Challenge, but the Kickoff Classic going on. It used to be the Champions Challenge, but now it's called the Kickoff Classic. Fife in Maplesville tonight, in Montgomery at Crampton Bowl. But if you're looking for a great football game and you're in the Auburn Opelika area and you don't have a dog in the fight, no pun intended again, come out and watch Benjamin Russell and Opelika. It will be a great game. You can bank on that. So, all right, we will be back with everybody next week for more Auburn Blitz podcast starting Monday morning, bright and early at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, the Auburn Blitz show at noon today and all next week as we lead into the football game on Friday night at Baylor. So here we are, all what we've been waiting on for months. We are here now. We are out of the doldrums of the summer, and we are ready for some football. So, all right, Faith, I'll let you send everybody out here on a Friday.
I hope everybody has the best day and the best week ever. Weekend.
Absolutely. Weekend, yeah. And you can go ahead and preview the week. And as always, a big old
War Eagle.